One of the reasons why I was stuck in a diet cycle for far too long was because I thought if I get out of this, it's going to mean I have a figure I don't like. I mean, of course, right? If you so believe that dieting and restricting is going to get you the figure you want, of course you're going to do it. And despite how many times you fall off the wagon because it's just not realistic, there's that hope that one day you can have enough control, you can be that future self you've dreamed of being. Well, I know I was going about it wrong. It's never going to work. It doesn't work. It's not sustainable. I really wanted to put together a quick video, as I usually do, about how you can actually have both. You can have a figure you love and not be stuck in a vicious cycle. You can. And I am an example of that. Am I fully out of the woods? Do I not have instances where I do want to just melt into a bag of trail mix? Hell yeah, I have those moments, especially this recent Hurricane Ian, which thank goodness my family's safe, our home is safe, but I know a lot of people are going through it. Leading up to it, through the storm, I was crazy stressed and I wanted to do nothing but inhale food because that's been my coping mechanism for so long. So I know I'm still not totally out of the woods. Maybe I will never be. Maybe I'm just like truly an addict, which I consider myself. But 99% of the time, food's not an obsession of mine. I'm not obsessed with the scale or fluctuations. I finally found a peace, and I want to share with you how I've done that. I don't really find many videos like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing it. But these are tactical tips, just helpful perspective. If you find yourself in the diet cycle, I want you to know you can have it all. You can love the way you look and have a cookie too. It may take some time and unlearning, which we'll talk about, but you can have that. You can have it all. For a majority of my life, I lived under this cloud of being obsessive about getting slim and also being obsessive about just wanting to inhale food. And it has taken me a majority of my life to realize that I had been creating my own resistance. That by simplifying things and actually stepping back and listening to my body, I'm actually better off. Not only am I slimmer and legitimately love my body, vainly love it. I don't even mean like self-love, love. I mean, I'm loving the way I look in clothes. I'm loving the way I look when I come out of the shower. I'm loving the way I look, and I'm not on a strict diet. I'm not obsessing about this desire to like make love to food like I did for so long. And I felt due to make like a little what I eat in a day video, but I've realized it's so much more than that. I think something that's so much more valuable is this, at least what I wish I knew, that if you can actually fix the problems that may be keeping you in the cycle that I was in, if you're in that cycle, then the things you stress about will take care of themselves. The first major step, and probably the most important for me, was getting back my hunger cues. And what I mean by that is I was so out of whack. I didn't know if I was hungry, if I was thirsty. Because I had just been dieting and depriving myself for so long, I had lost touch with that. I had been ignoring those hunger cues for so long. I was just completely out of touch with them. And there were 3 major resources that helped me get that back. First was a program that's now called Binge Code. It used to be called Bulimia Help Method, but that was coaching that happened once a week that got me back on track to eat regularly, really eat to be satisfied, and have a coach that guided me through what was very scary. Because if you've been dieting for so long and you have all these foods that are unsafe that you feel are going to derail you, you need somebody to help you along the way. Another great resource, something I still look to, is the book, The Rules of Normal Eating. It's rules of normal eating because there is no true normal eating. And that really helped me get an understanding around when you're hungry, once you do get those hunger cues again, how important it is to tune into what you're actually wanting and eating to be satisfied. you can be full but not satisfied. And that was something that now seems so straightforward to me, but was revolutionary. I recommend that book to anybody who's had any type of food issues, which is a majority of us, okay? So The Rules of Normal Eating and Binge Code, hugely helpful. And then the other thing that was a big catalyst for me in my recovery and getting my life back was Marissa Peer's hypnosis program that she has, and it's called RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy. I have a video there, so I will link it for you so that if you want to look into that, you can. But that was really transformational for me. I would love to say it gave me a full recovery. It didn't, but I grew so much and evolved greatly from that program. So those 3 resources were a huge help for me to get back my hunger cues and really improve my relationship with food. It gave me a really strong foundation. And another takeaway from me sharing those resources is if you're in a vicious cycle, you're stuck in the diet world and you want to get out, seek help. All those resources I shared with you, you can access at home. You don't have to go anywhere for that, and you can still get as much value. I did therapy, I did years of therapy, and I don't know how much therapy did or didn't help me. I do find it's hard to find a great therapist, and considering myself an addict, I would often use what I learned in therapy as a way to validate what I was doing. And in that way, maybe I could have gone a different type of therapy approach and it would have been more constructive. But that's why I don't list that in those 3 things. I do think therapy definitely has a place, but for the therapy I had, I don't know how constructive it was. And that's me just being very honest with you. So those resources really helped guide me to what could be described as intuitive eating. I now know when I'm hungry. I am not scared to be hungry. I am not worried about being hungry while I'm alone and just going off the rails. I know how to identify what I want to eat. I don't eat too much. I even turn down foods that you would think, I can now turn down sweets because I legitimately don't feel like them. I didn't know that would be a possibility. I wish I knew the importance of getting back my hunger, getting back in tune with myself. It had been so long, I didn't know that was even a possibility. By doing that, it really took off so much pressure and took away so many of my challenges, that alone. I used to eat for the sake of eating or finish my plate to be polite. I don't do that stuff anymore. I have so much more respect for making choices on my own body's behalf. So that in itself, those are major. So I'm editing this video and I realized I missed a major topic, and that's the exercise approach I now take. I used to do HIIT classes, high intensity interval training, and I'm convinced it threw my hormones out of whack. It made me excessively hungry. It made me inflamed and only contributed to me binging and being in this horrible cycle I keep on talking about. I now do most days 30 minutes of a low impact workout, Tracy Anderson method. And I think because I'm not taxing my body and my cortisol levels aren't fluctuating like they used to, not that I'm even tracking this, but this is just me theorizing. That's been huge. I'm gonna bet a lot of people are working out excessively, thinking that they're doing the right thing, but it could very well be putting them into a different direction than they mean to go. Low impact, even though it's not intense, and we all want to go intense and burn lots of calories and all that, it would backfire for me. I know that it was making me hungrier. I know that my body was reacting in a certain way where I was inflamed, and I just wanted to plug that in here. But this next category I'm going to share with you is something that's been, I think, is revolutionary, and I think is going to completely disrupt how everybody approaches food. And that is the topic of blood sugar. Yes, blood sugar. I'm listening to this audiobook right now called Glucose Revolution. And it's this woman basically sharing how blood sugar impacts your body and how you can manage your blood sugar. Why would you want to manage your blood sugar? Well, when your blood sugar spikes, it can cause for an energy crash later on. It can also impact your insulin levels. Your insulin levels are a big driver in your ability to lose fat or not lose fat. She gives these awesome tips and approaches to help manage your blood sugar. So for one example, I used to wake up in the morning and great, I'd be hungry. I'd feel like a banana. I'd have a banana, which is full of sugar, although it's like good sugar and there's fiber in there, which is great and helps to an extent. I would then crash later in the day. I now make choices for not only what I'm looking for present time, but also keeping in mind like what the consequences of that are going to be. And that alone, knowing how foods affect your body, really help you make better choices. So I've basically eliminated alcohol, but recently I had some wine. It was during Hurricane Ian, which was very stressful, and I felt like a glass of wine. I had a glass of wine, and it was in the evening, and that night I slept horribly, horribly. And I know it was because of the wine. I know it was because of the sugar in the wine. So wine is so much less appealing to me because I know how it affects my body. I'm learning about blood sugar. It's making sense to me, so I'm able to make better decisions. I am so fascinated by this blood sugar topic. I've actually invested in a continuous glucose monitor to measure how different foods affect me. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't done it yet. I still need to dive in and get a better understanding. But for the sake of this video, just learning the basics of blood sugar has been huge. There are insane benefits that come with managing your blood sugar. Not only when it comes to weight, which I know so many people, myself included, are interested in, but also for aging, also long-term health. So that's why I think that this is just gonna be a major focus to come with blood sugar, because we're just scratching the surface. More and more people that are not diabetic or not pre-diabetic are investing in continuous glucose monitors to monitor their blood sugar and reap the benefits of that. Who knew? I wanted to put together a video sharing how I approach food now, and I really thought that it'd probably bring most value in reviewing what I wish I knew, what's helped me most. And the things that have helped me most is getting back my hunger sensations, being able to tune in to determine what I actually feel like, choosing foods that make me feel good, that are also satisfying. That's not just vegetables all the time either. That even means if I'm feeling like chocolate, to have a sweet and enjoy it, which in itself is magical. It's magical to be at a point where foods that once were forbidden and came with a lot of guilt are now just another enjoyable thing. Another enjoyable thing. That can be your reality if it's not today. So getting back my hunger, fueling myself accordingly, choosing foods that help satisfy me and make me feel good, and then this topic of blood sugar and becoming aware of what I'm putting in my body, how it's going to affect me throughout the day. With these things I wish I knew earlier, I've been able to enjoy food, have a figure I love, and just be out of that hell. Be out of that hell. Topics like this one are a loaded subject just because everybody has different needs and different backgrounds and different perspectives. I think the category of diet itself, and I even mean just choosing what nutrition works for you, could be put into the category of religion and politics. Conversations that are very opinionated. But I just wanted to share with you the possibility, what's been my reality, that you can actually enjoy food, love the way you look, and get on with your life. So that covers it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. It's important to me to be sincere in everything I say, and I know sometimes that may mean I say something that people don't agree with, which is totally fine. But if you think that this video will help somebody, please be sure to share it with them. And of course, share with us what tips you have if you've gotten yourself out of the diet cycle, or if you find yourself struggling with anything, please let us know in the comments below. That is the goal of this channel. I know by connecting with some of you in the comments, I've learned so much. So I hope you have a fabulous week, and I hope to see you next time.